like this kind of party.
It's time for the GT3 Regional Tour Americas. Get ready for high-speed action.
The doctor said my heart can't take the speed.
Christopher Smith, 42. Fast Panties Racing.
He said to stick to bingo and to read, but I don't
Welcome to the rolling hills and challenging straights of one of America's most historic circuits, Road America. This track is a true test of bravery and precision. From the dramatic downhill run into the carousel to the high-speed commitment required through the kink, drivers will need to perfectly balance outright pace and a touch of Wisconsin grit to conquer this legendary venue. Let's get down on track with Clint and Lacey.
Thank you, Roger. I am Clint Finderbaum, and this is my co-host, Lacey Reynolds. Today we're at Road America. Let's follow Christopher Smith, 42, for his qualifying lap. Let's let Lacey run you through some of these turns from inside the car.
Thanks a lot, Clint. I want to take a look at some of these lines. Last week, Christopher Smith was just not hitting those apexes and not using the entire track. And this week it's going to be much more important because Road America is a very popular track. So qualifying in the highest split possible, as far up on the grid as possible, will be imperative to getting maximum points. But that's a nice turn there. And we see him go up this hill. This is a very tricky hit and left-hander. It's very easy to spin the car right here. He took that well. Bit of a lip through that right-hander. Not necessary to lip there if you get it just perfect. And this left-hander leads into the extremely important carousel.
Yeah, Lacey, it's really important to carry a lot of speed through the carousel and then further on through the kink. And it does look like Smith 42 is laying it all on the line.
Well, yes and no. I think I did hear a small lift as he went through the kink, so clearly the car is not quite as licked up as he'd like it to be. And it remains to be seen where the Corvette Z06 GT3 is going to be in the hierarchy of the cars racing in this series.
That is true, but what really is going to matter is what Christopher Smith 42 and Fast Panties Racing can get out of this Corvette. Now let's see where they end up at the end of Sector 3. One of the longest straights of the season here at Road America. You've got to nail that final turn.
Yeah, and he crosses the finish line in P7. Now that's 7th place in 7th split. There are an incredible 13 splits this weekend, proving that once again it's one of the most popular tracks on the circuit.
Okay, welcome to a race day at Road America. As the field gets underway, we'll take a quick look at our starting grid with Justin Roby, Travis Bender, and Jason Tall rounding out the top three. Christopher Smith 42 and Fast Panties Racing come in at 7. Not as high as they would like, but keep in mind that this is a higher split. This is a higher quality competition at this level. So finishing mid-pack here is much better than what you had gotten out of last week, even finishing as high as 2nd.
Well, what I'm looking for is to see if Fast Panties Racing can continue to get their head wrapped around this Corvette Z06. Now, as you can see here, a Corvette is indeed on the pole, but we're at 7th place, so clearly there's a bit more pace in the car. Christopher Smith 42 just needs to find that pace. And if you've been watching the behind-the-scenes documentary on this race season, you'll see that they've been leaving no stones unturned when attempting to find that pace.
Well, I think we're seeing some of the results already. They just look slightly more competitive. There's just that edge to Christopher Smith 42 this weekend and from Fast Panties Racing that I haven't seen before. And I think that's the kind of deep dive that this team is going to need to look into if they want to continue and try to fight for this championship.
I think that all of us want to see this team do good, especially since we're paid to follow them around. But they've proven that they're dedicated to the craft, so let's see how they can do in this Week 2 race, the Road America, starting mid-pack. Let's hope we see a little bit more action than we did last week, at least in the opening laps.
Alrighty then. Since this is a long lap, let's fast forward just a little bit, and we'll be right back at the start of this race. All right, then as we come around the final turn, and we're green, we're going green. And it looks like Fast Panties, Christopher Smith 42, again has gotten the bad start and dropped the spot to Gage Lawrence in that pink BMW M4.
Yeah, they just cannot get these starts, and they keep putting themselves behind the 8-ball immediately down here before the race even starts, dropping one place within the first 15 seconds of the race.
Yeah, 100%. We've got two definite paths kind of shorting out here. At least Christopher Smith 42 is staying up with the lead pack here. Looks like Luke is trying to warm his tires up. His Gage goes for a move. No one can get it done on cold tires. Lap 1, everyone's tires are cold. Those BMWs are heavy. We're banging doors.
They definitely hit.
Now this slowdown between this battle up here is going to allow Christopher Smith 42 to pull up. Unfortunately, both Gage and Luke are just blocking the entire track with their lap 1 battle. And this is allowing Claudio in the silver Ferrari to kind of join up and indeed bring that entire second pack up in the mix. Christopher Smith 42 is going to need a dispatch of these two BMWs.
That's exactly what he needs to do. And just with those horrible starts, he keeps putting himself in this situation. If he was where he was supposed to be, he would be in front of the pink BMW, and he wouldn't be trapped in this position. And it brings Claudio right into the mix. They just keep making their lives harder. I don't understand why they can't tackle this small issue. It's very frustrating to watch them constantly put themselves in bad positions.
Yeah, I mean, it's only week 2, Lacey, so let's give them a little bit of a break. Maybe they're coming to grips with this new Corvette. They do seem to have some pace. It'd be interesting to see how far up the field they could get, if indeed they did get a good start for once. All right, coming past on lap 2. Christopher Smith going a little bit defensive, just letting Claudio know, hey, not today, not right now.
Claudio looks fast and aggressive today. I don't know if he has the speed, though.
And it looks like Luke is going to fall under attack from Gage here in the pink BMW. Gotta love these liveries.
Really? I kind of figured you for a pink livery guy there, Clint. But it looks like Christopher Smith is falling back behind the two BMWs, actually. Not good.
Now Gage is going to make another move. Let's see if he can get it stuck this time.
Oh.
And he goes wide.
He's going to make it stick.
Gage is off the track.
This is chaos.
And Christopher Smith 42 takes advantage and passes both of them.
Great, quick action by Christopher Smith 42.
On lap 2, Christopher Smith has now passed both of the BMWs. Claudio got past Gage. And now let's see if Christopher Smith can just break this chain and start making headway towards the leaders.
So that's about the best you could hope for. After a bad start, within 2 laps.
That was a big moment for Christopher Smith 42 and Fast Panties Racing. And they've already started to pull out a small lead.
Yeah, within 2 laps, as I was saying, thanks Clint, within 2 laps, they put themselves up a few positions from where they actually started. So it's not the worst scenario. And now the only job is to see if Christopher Smith 42 can put his head down and focus on catching the car up ahead.
I sense that Christopher Smith 42 is driving with confidence. The car looks stable, easy to handle. He can put it anywhere he wants. It's just not fast enough, it doesn't seem like.
No, like a lot of these GT3 races, it looks like gaining positions will often be a matter of attrition. So let's move forward a few laps And let's see how that goes down, because it always does. On lap 4, we have John Schlenk simply pit maneuvering poor Jin Jae-hee into the wall, but then Karma makes a play, and John Schlenk spins on his own. Now he gives 2 positions to Christopher Smith. And on lap 6, Jason Paul spins his Lamborghini, giving them another position.
And that explains why, as we come into the last lap, we can see that Jason Tall is now in this battle for 3rd position between Christopher Smith, 42, Luke Bozell, and indeed, now Jason Tall.
Yeah, Jason Tall has gone from a position of power to fighting for the position he once had.
It appears that Luke feels kind of hot, like he wants to take a bite at that Fast Patty's Z06.
But Fast Patty's Racing has been feeling the pressure all day, and they've been taking advantage of things instead of being taken advantage of.
You just feel that he's going to make a move here. He's twerking all over the track.
That's not going to work.
Yeah, that's not going to work. That's horrible racecraft.
He just outsights himself. That's terrible. There's no way that you're going to flinch Fast Patty's Racing. Whoa!
And Jason just completely snaps in the back of Luke and then continues to hit his car afterwards. What is going on?
No way. This is absurd. Bad enough that you wreck him from behind, but then to additionally hit him? What is going on out there?
This allows Christopher Smith, 42, to take 3rd place, and that's that. Unless something goes drastically wrong, it looks like Christopher Smith, 42, will indeed be securing 3rd place at this week's race.
And it has to be said that in spite of the bad start, they got nothing wrong. Unlike Jason Tall, who is missing the rear of his race car, and in an attempt to fight Gage, is about to throw his Lamborghini off into the ditch. Just absurd racecraft from many of the drivers today. But I do have to say that Christopher Smith, 42, and Fast Patty's Racing have not put a foot wrong all day. They just need to find that little bit more speed. That way they don't have to depend on attrition to gaining positions.
Totally agree, Lacey. They just need to get a little bit more speed. And Christopher Smith, 42, whether it's robots or more laps in the Civ, needs to find that speed. But today, they managed to grab a 3rd place and increase their safety rating by plus 73. That's going to put them in much better splits going forward and will enable Fast Patty's Racing to gain even more championship points. And in terms of the championship, we're currently sitting at P13 with 172.5 points. Everything's going good so far. So this has been Clint Fenderbaum and my partner Lacey Reynolds. And that will do it for this week in the GT3 Regional Tour Americas Division 7 Championship.